You're listening to the Shit You Can't Make Up podcast, a conversation with friends, hosted by Marisol Sanchez.
Hey, thanks for listening. I hope everyone had a really good Thanksgiving. I think I'm either going to call this podcast, asterisk, best Thanksgiving ever. I don't know. Can you believe it's December 2nd? Holy shit. It is, gosh, holidays. If you listen to my last podcast, I was, waxing on and off about Thanksgivings. Sorry, don't know how to stop that noise. Production value budget is $0. I was talking about Thanksgivings, and I really don't remember shit. I really don't remember. Maybe I was talking about. I don't know. Fuck, fears about it or having had bad ones. That's probably what I was talking about. Having had bad ones in the past. This one was the best ever. Was the best Thanksgiving in my 42 years I've ever had. And I have to put an asterisk on that because my children weren't with me. As a divorced woman of 3 children, I share custody with my husband, and it was his year for Thanksgiving. So I have to put that asterisk because I feel so bad saying that, because I wished my kids had been there. I missed them terribly. It's when people ask me about divorce, these are one of the ugly truths. The holidays just aren't the same. They're just not the same. But they can still be awesome. And mine was awesome. It was the best one ever. I went to Miami, and I visited my mom. I stayed with my brother, saw my other brother almost every day. Lots of cousins, some from New York. It was just a big Chavez family Thanksgiving, and it was fun. And we had fun at my family reunion this summer. And if you're just joining, you're like, what the fuck is she talking about? If you jump back some even, earlier podcasts and listen to the, self-hating Latina one, then I could be here today and saying that I had the best Thanksgiving, asterisk, the best Thanksgiving ever. I never would have thought that 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. And, it's just, I'm really grateful and I'm really lucky. But anyway, so I had a great Thanksgiving. But the story I want to tell you a story. The shit I want to talk about today is the shit of family. No, I'm kidding. Shit, meaning the name of the podcast is Shit You Can't Make Up. It's one of the stories, in my life that I think is worthy of sharing because it's just a fucking cool story. So just bear with me. Again, if you're just jumping in, I had a brother. So I'm going to start the story. It's about my nephew. It's about my long lost nephew. That might be either the name too or the hashtag. And the story starts with the death of my brother. And I think I was 9. I'm bad. I wish one of my brothers would come on the show because he could. He knows these timelines much better than I do. But my older brother is 18 years older than me, and had I was 9 at the time, and had a child. He was married and had a child, and his wife was from Thailand. So my brother dies, and I'm not really sure if we had met him before or after. But basically, he disappears from our lives. For whatever reasons, we lose, and this is pre-computers, Google. This is, God, I was 9, 42, do the math, long time ago. And, so I do know that, everyone's kind of attempted to find him at some point in whatever way we could modestly do it. But we didn't, my mother did not see her grandson, till last year. I think it was last year. Because thanks to the amazing technology available to us, I was on a field trip. My kids were in 6th grade, so it must be almost 2 years because they're in 8th now. And they were on a field trip, and I was chaperoning or driving, and I was on the marshes, and I'm checking Facebook, shockingly, and I get this inbox message from a woman. And she's like, this may sound crazy, but are you Marisol Sanchez, blah, blah, blah. And, very quickly realized that this is my family. And so I'm in North Carolina. He's in Florida. My brothers find out, we very quickly, they go meet him. My mother gets to meet him, and that I'm sure is very emotional. I was not there for that. I first got to meet him at his wedding. He got married in December last year, and I got to go be in the wedding and meet him. And a lot of my family came from New York, a lot of cousins, and it was very emotional. It was very emotional because he didn't know his father's side of the family, and it was awesome. It was awesome. And here we are on one side of the church. It was kind of it was a special day. It's almost going to be a year, so shit, time does go by quickly. I have the 2 pictures that I love from the wedding, and one is with my mom with all her grandchildren for the first time. My children, my 3, and my other nephew. It's actually a funny picture because everyone, well, it's just funny. I don't know if I can post it because it might be mean, but it's so much is explained in that picture. And also there was when my mom got this slow dance with my nephew. And what else? I got to meet his amazing wife and partner, and anyway, if I was already trying to get on the other side of my childhood issues, his finding us definitely was a catalyst for part of it, going back to my family, going back to my roots, going back to my culture. Hashtag not pretending to be white. If I offend anyone with that, it's a joke. It's a joke. But yeah, again go back to previous podcasts. I wanted to be white. I grew up I was first generation American, and you have one foot. I think I'm stealing this quote from my brother, but it's a good description. You have one foot in one culture, and you have one foot in the other. And some things that other culture looks, fucking better. So I wanted that, and I guess I've always kind of hated myself for that. Oh, sorry, didn't know that was going to happen. So what else? So that was my little story of my long lost nephew. The funny thing is, a story that he told, like we had many conversations, like that day that we found him, we talked, and he told me this funny, and he was on Bluetooth, so my kids could hear him too, and they just, so they were meeting him basically for the first time too, and he tells us a story that his nickname growing up was Thai Mex because he didn't know he knew so little about his father's side of the family that he was told that he was Mexican. He noticed at some point that he looked differently, and he asked and he inquired, and his, I believe, maternal grandfather said, "Oh, you're Mexican." And many years later, 12 years, he was filling something out for some sports league, and looks at his birth certificate, and he learns that my brother, his dad, was in fact not Mexican, but was Honduran. Did I say that right? Pronounce that right? Honduran? I used to say Honduran. Oh my God. Honduran. And so, that's just a great story. It's a funny story. His nickname was Timex. He was Donald Trumped by his grandfather. We're all Mexicans. Yeah, I found, I did have the funny thing about my Thanksgiving, it being the best Thanksgiving, asterisk best Thanksgiving ever, was funny. Was one of the sweetest moments was one of my cousins bringing out a turkey because she thought my kids were coming, because typically they don't eat turkey on Thanksgiving. We eat lechon, the Spanish food is amazing. I'm like, coming back to my roots has added 10 pounds to me. But that was super sweet. It was a lot of fun. I met one of my cousins. Is also a podcaster, so I guess it runs in the family. Anyway, that was my story. It was my long lost nephew who helped me helped me on this I don't know how to end it. Hopefully I started it better. Hopefully I started the podcast faster and make you suffer through 10 minutes of me getting the nerve to tell you what I had on my mind. Okay. The part that I do not like to do, the self-promoting. I changed the name on my Facebook page back to Shit You Can't Make Up. You just being the letter. SHITU CANTMAKEUP. Oh my God, that's the worst ending ever. But anyway, if you could like my page, that would be awesome. It's a very strange experience knowing that people are listening. And I know if I know you in person and you're listening and you tell me you listen and I freeze up on you, it's just a thing because I don't know what to do with that information, or when you text me. But thank you. All of you, I think, thank you. It's, I'm just grateful that you care to tune in. Facebook, I think next week I'm taping one with my friend. I keep saying that and then it doesn't happen. And one with Beth next week. Anyway, I hope everyone enjoys the beginning of the holiday season. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.